Hello everyone!
Hi kids.
Welcome to Brain Awareness Week. For this lesson, we're going to talk about something called neurons.
It's in your brain.
It's in your brain and what they do in your body. So we also get to do a very fun activity is where you get to make your own neuron out of pipe cleaners today. But first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the neuron and what it does in our brain and our body, and then you get a chance to make these on your own. So if you have ever heard of a cell, a neuron is a type of cell. It's basically little tiny items that our whole body is made of. And it helps us survive and run and play and breathe. Pretty much every single thing we do involves our cells.
And play games.
And play games. Part of those cells and their use is neurons. And you find these, we have nerve cells throughout our body, but mostly throughout our brain. We actually have over 85 billion neurons in our brain. That's crazy, right? And they have a very important job. Neurons basically spend all day talking to each other, just sending messages back and forth. These messages can help us move our arms and our legs, help us talk to each other, help us listen. Every function we do relies on our neurons and how they speak to one another. So I'm going to tell you a couple parts of the neurons. Just like our body, how we have arms and legs, neurons have parts as well. And their parts help us do a lot of things. Even something as simple from smelling a really beautiful flower to telling you to pull your hand away if you touch something hot.
Ow!
Neurons are responsible for all those things. So let's go over some of the parts of a neuron. So this first part we're going to talk about is this really long stem here. This is called an axon, and it helps send the electrical messages from one neuron to the next. It's also covered in these little layers of myelin. It's kind of like a protective shield around that centerpiece. This part at the top, the round piece, is the cell body. It's kind of the master control of the cell. And then we have these little spines coming off called dendrites. These dendrites help take or receive the message from the previous neuron next to it. The message gets sent down this long strand and then out the other end of the neuron, speaking to the next neuron, and again to the next, and again to the next, all over your brain and your body. So now that we've learned a little bit about a neuron and how important it is, we're going to build one of these neurons for ourselves. So teachers, you can go ahead and make sure all of your students have their supplies. Each student should have 4 full-sized pipe cleaners in each kit, and then they should have some of these little tiny pieces of pipe cleaners. If you don't have little pieces of pipe cleaners though, that's okay. A full-size piece will do. So we're going to jump right in and show you how to make your own neuron. So you're first going to start off with one pipe cleaner. Choose the color that you want. This is going to be the piece that goes for this long section of the neuron. So choose that color. Once you've chosen that color, pick one more to make that ball at the top, that nucleus part, the powerhouse of the cell. And how you're going to make the ball is by wrapping it around your finger, kind of like this. I like to wrap it around my finger and then wrap the rest of the wire around that round part. Once you have the ball completed, you're going to take the stem color you chose and just put it inside the ball, so however it can fit. And you'll fold it over like that. Once you've folded it over, you're just going to twist these 2 pieces together. And there you go. Once it's twisted together, the next step we're going to do is make the dendrites, those little spines at the end. So you can take another one of your colors and you're just going to put that color, mine is red, through that ball at the end. And again, you'll fold it over and twist it. You can bend it so that you make a little spine. You can put it back through the ball if you want the spines to be shorter, like on mine, like that. You can also cut these pipe cleaners if you want into a couple pieces it does make it a little bit easier to make those spines. And I'm going to put this one through over here. You just kind of bend them and shape them. Okay, now that you've made all the dendrites, the cell body, and you have this long strand, the next step is we're going to add that little protective shield around the neuron. So if you have tiny little cut up pieces of pipe cleaner, all you'll do is wrap them around this long part, like this, just like that. If you don't have these shorter pieces, you can take a long pipe cleaner and instead twist it around this long part of the neuron, like this. The last step is going to be forming that very bottom, the part of the neuron that talks to the next one. So how you'll do that is by making a ball. So you'll just make a round ball by wrapping around your finger again and coiling that up. Once you've made that ball, you can bend the end of the pipe cleaner again and just wrap it around the bottom so that it stays attached.
Neuron.
And there you go. You have your own neuron. This is an activity that you can do with your families at home and tell them all the pieces of a neuron and how important they are for our bodies to function every day. Hopefully you can do some more of our brain-related activities and enjoy your Brain Awareness Week. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.